So we'll now move on to our final cohort. So I'm pleased to introduce Associate Professor Christina Bjørk Petersen, who comes from the National Institute of Public Health at the University of Southern Denmark. And Christina leads on the Danish health and morbidity study. So over to you, Christina.
Thank you very much. Can you see my eyes?
Yes,
Is
we
that
can.
good? Yes.
They're not yet in full text. Oh, there we go. Can see them. Thank
Yes,
you.
perfect. Thank you very much, Joe. So I will be introducing you to the Danish Health and Morbidity Survey, in which we are doing a pilot study, a feasibility study on how to use accelerometers in measuring physical activity. So I'll be speaking a little bit about how we've done it. We're not going to give you any results on physical activity because we're still analyzing results. And together with me, I have Martin, who has actually done all the work and collecting the data. So he'll be talking a little bit about what we actually did and how we have collected the data. So first of all, a little bit about what is the Danish Health and Morbidity Survey. It's actually a part of the Danish National Health Profile, and I just draw a picture out here to show you that the Danish Health Profile is combined of 6 subsamples. So we have the Danish Health and Morbidity Survey, which is a national representative sample. Combined with that, we have subsamples from each region in Denmark. And together we compile these data, and together they all make up the Danish National Health Profile. So, and these has been conducted since 2010. So they are cross-sectional and conducted every 4th year. It takes place, the data collection is a combination of digital mail. So we send out by digital mail, and we have a digital mailbox in Denmark. So they get a letter in that. So it's sort of like official mailbox. And for those who are not connected to a digital mailbox, they get a physical letter. So the traditional way. In 2021, we sent out 24,000 invitations to people aged 16 or above living in Denmark. And we had a response rate of nearly 57%. But in 2021, as you remember, we had a COVID epidemic. And so a lot of the results were actually influenced by all the activities closing down. So there was interest in trying to do a midterm survey, and that's what we did in 2000. So when we were doing that, we received funding for also collecting more detailed information on physical activity using a Taiwan accelerometer. Martin will probably get back to that, but we used the SENSE device. So we got funding for testing that. So the aim is to see, is this actually, I think I will say the aim is to see, is this actually feasible? So how can we use this as a supplement to questionnaire information on physical activity, sedentary time, and sleep in the Danish Health and Morbidity Survey? So just repeat that this was done on a subsample in the National Health Profile, but the aim is actually to see whether this can be feasible for upscaling for the whole National Health Profile, or at least a larger part of the maybe in some regions to a start. And the other aim is to see how does the measure we get obtained from these devices, how do they correlate to the self-reported information on physical activity and sleep. So I think over to you, Martin, to tell us a little bit about what we did.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope my sound is coming through. I'll take that as yes. Okay, so as Christina alluded to, we've used the Sense Motion device. And yeah, on top of piloting the use of an accelerometer in a national health survey, we've also decided to pilot the use of a new device. At least none of us had experience with it going into it. So the device, as some of you know, is able to communicate to a mobile phone application. And we used one developed by Andreas Haldeman and his team at NFA and adapted that to fit our needs. So what we did was we registered the participants online, set a device up for them, and then packed them a letter containing the device and an information letter and various other things they would need to apply the device. We then mailed it to them in the letter. And when they got it, they were instructed to download the new motor system app that we developed, in which they both activate the device and fill in diary information on sleeping hours and work periods used later to determine, for instance, sleep, as was discussed earlier today, and separate working time activity from leisure time activity. During the week, we asked the participants to wear the device. We sent them notifications through text messaging on the phone if we could see that they'd not either filled in their diary or had the app open so that data could be uploaded to the cloud. And this was done to ensure that we both got diary information and had the data back with us. After a week, participants were asked to return the device in an envelope that was sent with the letter. And usually it took about 1 month from the date we sent out the letter till we had it returned to us. Christina, is there anything else you want to add here? Otherwise, I'd like to, just have a breakdown of how it's actually done. So we had 10,000 respondents to the survey. And in order to be eligible for the accelerometer study, you had to have answered the survey. So from the 10,000, we had 1,600 who said, yeah, I want to participate in this, provide the correct information. So they were dropped from the study. But as of a week ago, we had 1,041 persons who completed the study wearing the accelerometer for either 7 days or 14 days. We split the participants into 5 groups because we didn't have 1,500 accelerometers available, unfortunately. And the 5th group, which was around 250 people, was asked to wear the accelerometer for 14 days. I can see now, just checked our data, a week later, we've actually had 70 people who's worn the accelerometer for 14 days. And the reason we split from 7 to 14 days was to check, is there any difference between the first week of wearing the device and the second week of wearing the device? Because we hypothesize, as many of you have probably also been thinking, what influence does wearing the device actually have on physical activity levels? And we're hoping to, what are we hoping to? We're hoping to...
we hope that it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. We hope that it doesn't make a difference. We hope they stay consistent in their levels throughout the 14 days, but they might change their levels after a week. That's something we expect to see a bit of, but hope not. Yeah, so feasibility study with 10,000, not 10,000, but 1,000 participants so far. We're closing our data collection at the end of October, so room for a few more.
Yes.
Yeah, that was all from us for now.
So that was a quick introduction to a data collection that is still going on.
Great. Thanks, Christina and Martin. Also appreciate the up-to-date numbers as they're coming in. So you've had a couple questions come through. So the first from Aidan Doherty is asking about the response rate. So there was less than 20% that actually accepted the invite, which is lower than other studies and lower than what Richard presented from a systematic review earlier. So were you surprised by that?
Well, I think I'll just move back to how we actually recruited the participants, because the first step was to send out the letters, and the past few surveys we had a bit over the 50% participation rate. For this round we had 1% actually responding to the survey, and then the next step is from these people that are responding to the survey, then it drops even further for the people who are accepting to participate in this extra workload and put on the accelerometer. So I think it all depends on how we actually look at the response rate. Is it the people that are actually accepting to participate? Is it the people that accept to participate all over? Well, in a way, I'm not surprised. I'm actually the opposite. We were actually very positive that we even got that much. So it was bigger than expected, because I know there's a lot of experience from studies doing the same recruitment that has a lower response rate. So we were actually quite surprised that we actually got so many people that wanted to participate.
Thank you. And you did stress that it was a feasibility study. So can you speak about any of the kind of key challenges? I'm assuming you're trying to obtain a nationally representative sample with the objective measures. What are the key challenges and how are you going to try and overcome them?
Well, I think the main challenge is actually going back to the response rate and the representativeness, because it is going to be used for a national health profile. There will be a lot of interest in is this really representative of the Danish population? And if you only have about 20% of the population, who are the people that actually participate in this? So that's actually our main concern, is who are we actually measuring and how can we overcome this? And that's why I also stress that we need to look this as a supplement to the questionnaire data, because right now it cannot stand alone. We have too little participation rate to let it be on its own. So we also need to keep working on our questionnaire measures.
Can you speak a bit about your plans? So if sort of all goes well with your analysis of the initial data, how many do you want to extend it to? And then also, do you have plans to link this up to electronic healthcare databases?
Yes, I think we actually, well, see, this is still going on, so it's difficult to answer until we've looked at the data. But my impression is that we will probably, if we get the funding, we will do this again in 25, where we have the next round, and do it as a part of the health and morbidity survey once again. So we have the national sample, and then we will ask if the regions are in Denmark willing to also test or use it. It would be probably volunteer for the regions, so it will be a supplement to the questionnaire, and we will hope that we get a greater sample. But at least I think we will go for repeating the sample size again. And for the last part of the question, yes, we will link data to registers.
Great, fantastic. Thank you.